Welcome into the Gridiron Grind. It's the Dallas Cowboys NFL podcast, 3-3 with Jimmy G. Jim, we got a big one. Got a big one this week. The boys do at Philadelphia. Winner is in possession, first place of the NFC East. Boys got to go on the road, hostile territory, city of brotherly love, and got to find a way to get it done at the Eagles. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough.
Another measuring stick game, Trey. This is going to measure you again in the NFC, but also in the division. Seemingly Washington got worse, getting rid of their entire defensive line.
Yep.
Which we can get to later as we've got a question about it. Another measuring stick game, man. The Rams, that's a good confidence game because you're thinking, oh, man, well, the Rams, Stafford, they won a Super Bowl. Yeah, a few years ago, man. They're not the same team. And, so beating them was good for confidence. But now, again, going to Philly, hostile environment, weather issue. You're going to see what it's like to not play in a dome. And that entire stadium hates you.
Yes.
So,
you can say,
like I said, another measuring stick game for the Cowboys.
Say what you want to say about Philadelphia and their fans. They hate the Cowboys. So it's even worse.
And I respect
when
that.
Play the Cowboys. Yeah, absolutely. As you said, measuring stick game. Last measuring stick game the Cowboys had, they flunked that test horribly. I think, was it 42-0? Did we even score? I tried to erase it from my memory when we played the 49ers on the road. So hopefully it's a better game.
42-10.
Oh, we did get 10. Okay.
That's right.
Good for us. Got to have a better performance. And the Niners haven't won a game since. They've lost every game since then. 3 in a row. So Cowboys got to have to show up better. I believe they will. They had a huge win over the Rams. Put that one away early. Now we talk about the Eagles. And here's a couple stats in favor of the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is undefeated against Jalen Hurts head-to-head. Now, they've actually only faced each other once. It was in 2021, and Dak is 1-0 against Jalen Hurts. Now, the reason they have only played once is because one of the other's been hurt every other time. So they will only face off against each other for the second time. Dak, in 5 road starts against the Eagles in Philadelphia at the Link, Dak has 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And as good as the Eagles have been the last couple of years, the Cowboys have won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, obviously the Eagles defending NFC champs. Jalen Hurts, with him as starting quarterback, they have 11-0 their last 11 games when they face a team with a winning record. So that's just how good the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have been. This is going to be a big-time matchup. Jimmy, what do the Cowboys got to do to come away with a win?
Well, they're going to have to stop Jalen Hurts. He doesn't bother me as a passer so much as he does with his legs, the extending plays. What we try to get Dak Prescott to do, what we scream at the television when you see him stay in the pocket too long. And again, we're not seeing what he sees, but I'm telling you on, 80-inch TV, I'm sitting here going, run. If you take off to the left, you're at least not going to get back to the line because there's no one in the screen.
Yeah.
That's where one thing I think we've got to shut down is we've got to shut down Hurts extending plays with his legs. We got to keep them. We can't let them get in 3rd and short where they can use this push play. I also thought it was interesting. Jason Kelce hates it. So Jason Kelce said there's so much weight on top of him when they run that play that he doesn't really like it. But he's a dog. He's going to do what it takes to win. So he puts up with it. But keeping the Eagles in 3rd and long, 3rd and mid to 3rd and long where they can't do that. Because that's just I don't care what sport, basketball, when the ball's going to Bird and he still catches it, shoots it, makes it, it's disheartening. You're like, what the crap? Same with this tush push. When it's 3rd and short and the Eagles line up and you know exactly what they're going to do, and I don't care, you can put everybody in there and they still execute, you just go, what do we got to do? What can we do? What do we got to do? Mentally takes you out of the game. I personally think it's a great play, even though Philly's running it. So that's one thing. Keep them in mid and long.
it's basically been unstoppable. I think it's only been stopped once, and that was last week against Washington because I think Hurts fumbled, right?
Yeah.
So that's
He
the only time
fumbled
it's been stopped.
on the exchange. So yeah, I think keeping them in mid and long and not allowing Hurts to roll out,
Yeah.
and we've got to keep him in the pocket. Got to get containment,
I agree
and I
with you.
think that's the recipe to win.
I think Jalen Hurts, when he throws it to A.J. Brown, when he doesn't have A.J. Brown running open, he's a different quarterback. He's way better throwing it to A.J. Brown. And a lot of that has to do because A.J. Brown is a top tier receiver in the league. And so if you can
still owe us money for that.
That's no kidding.
Crap.
We'll talk about that. I mean, the Eagles continue to make moves at the trade deadline. Cowboys continue to sit on their hands. But if you can somehow limit A.J. Brown as much as possible, I wish we had Trayvon Diggs. And then you got to get to Jalen Hurts. You got to put pressure on him. You can't let him scramble and continue extend the play with his legs because he's pretty good at making things happen. So you got it. The pressure's got to get there. I'm interested to see how the Eagles game plan for Micah Parsons last year. If you remember, they did a lot of read option and they just didn't even block Parsons. Parsons was on a tear early in the season last year. And the Eagles' game plan was, hey, we're just not going to block him. We're going to do read option and let him be wrong. And that worked to perfection. Again, Cooper Rush was a quarterback last year, the first game, and the Eagles won it. So I'm interested to see if they try that again. They didn't do it as much, or hardly any, the second time we played because Hurts wasn't the quarterback. It was Gardner Minshew. So I'm interested to see if that's what they do and see the Cowboys' adjustments of defending that read option when they leave Parsons unblocked.
You know, and that sounds so crazy to say, you know what we're going to do? We're not even going to block Micah Parsons. Like, that's a recipe for disaster. I think Dan Quinn's a good enough DC that he's going to have plans in place to where, guys, if they do this, here's what's going to happen, So I say let them not block Micah Parsons this time, and let's see what happens. If you can not block Micah Parsons for 2 games and still win both of those, that's off to you. Offensive genius.
I mean, but it's a great philosophy because it puts them in such conflict, and then you can run RPOs off of it as well. So I'm interested to see if they try that again and what the Cowboys' adjustment is to that if they do it again. It's a huge game. Again, Cowboys are 5-2, Eagles are 6-1. So the Cowboys find a way to win. They'd be tied, but the Cowboys would own the tiebreaker, be first place in the East. If the Eagles were to win, they would take a commanding 2-game lead in the NFC East with still half the games to go. But, I mean, this is a big one for the Cowboys taking on the Eagles. It's at 325. Need Dak. We need one of the best versions of Dak that we've ever seen. I mean, we got to have that from Dak. It's just what the Rangers just won the World Series, and it's because our best players, the guys we play the most and count on the most, they performed in the playoffs. Corey Seager, Garcia, and then Simeon came on in the World Series. He had a home run in the last couple games. Those guys, the Rangers stars were the stars. And that's what the Cowboys have got to have in these big games. Dak, you are one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league now. Crazy to think, but he is.
Yeah.
You got the contract, you got the money. You got to have you perform in those big games. I mean, these are the kind of games that can define your career long-term for the Cowboys and trying to win this division.
Yep. I agree. You got to show up.
CeeDee Lamb's got to show up. He had a huge game last week. We need him to have another big one. So the Eagles, I mean, I was kind of looking at it. Honestly, the Eagles might be the best team in the NFL. I don't know if there's a team that's head and shoulders above anybody, but as I was kind of looking at it and looking what the Eagles have done, it hadn't really been pretty, but still they have the best record in the league. I think that right now you got to say the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. They're tied with the Chiefs as far as Vegas odds to win the Super Bowl. But I don't think that gap is that big. I mean, Vegas has the Eagles favored by 3 points, and, you get 3 points for home field advantage. So Vegas sees these two teams pretty equal. So, I mean, this is just a huge opportunity for Dak Prescott and the offense and Mike McCarthy to gain some momentum and knock down a huge, not only NFC foe, but NFC East foe as well. So, big time game for the Cowboys. Looking forward to it. This is like you said, this is a measuring stick game. Cowboys got to be ready to come to play. Excited to watch it. Be sure to join our live post-game show on YouTube right after the conclusion of the Cowboys Eagles, and we'll break it down. Sure, we'll have a lot to talk about and a lot of comments to get to on that. So join us that on Sunday right after the game on YouTube. Looking around the league, Jimmy, we talked about the Niners have now lost 3 straight. Lions bounce back after getting humiliated by the Ravens. So
Yeah,
they seem to be kind of that top tier. The Seahawks have a big one. They take on the Rams this week. But when you look at the NFC, that's your 4 main teams. We'll see how the Niners continue to slide or not. But it's the Eagles, it's the Cowboys, it's the Niners, it's the Lions, and the 5th team might be the Seahawks if they find a way to beat the Ravens. But Seahawks made the playoffs last year. The Chiefs, speaking of them, they lost to the Broncos. They've now lost 2 in a row. It's the first time in I think like 4 or 5 years the Chiefs have lost back-to-back games. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, he just decided to clean house. Fired head coach McDaniel, fired the general manager, starting a new bench, Jimmy Garoppolo, starting a new quarterback, got a new GM, new interim head coach.
New offensive coordinator. He fired the OC as well. That's his old man in him. That's Al Davis. That's Al Davis going, it's my team. I'll do what I want. Keep in mind when McDaniels got there, they had just went 10-7.
Yeah.
Since McDaniels and Ziegler, sorry, since they got there, they have went 9-16.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
he goes out and trades for, he goes out and trade. First off, they have a stud running back, Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
Okay, they miss on Leatherwood, the first round tackle. Like, okay, but you've got Josh Jacobs, pretty decent offensive line. Davis goes and gets them what should be the quarterback, and Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a Belichick guy. You saw what he did there. He goes to San Fran. He's pretty good, a little bit injuries, and they just can't make it work. And so hats off to Mark Davis for going, yeah, I'm done. We're just going to clean house, and I'm just going to eat it. You know why?
Yeah.
It's my team. So
I mean, I kind of agree with him because they were bad. Like, when was that? They played Monday night. That was terrible. I mean, Garoppolo had one of the best receivers in the league running wide open on go routes 3 times, and he didn't even come close. Didn't even give him a chance to catch the football. So yeah, I kind of laughed, but I also wasn't surprised. I would, if I was a Raider fan, that's exactly what I'd have want to happen. Josh McDaniels, he has been bad as a head coach. As good as he was offensive coordinator with Tom Brady, he's been terrible as a head coach.
I think he's just one of those guys, man. He's one of those guys that's a better coordinator than coach. And it is what it is. Everybody wants to make a head coach out of everybody. And of course, I've never been in the position to go from coordinator to a head coach, coach anything. But I'm sitting here going, Nick Saban tried it and was humble enough to go, yeah, this ain't for me. This is a different animal, and I can't hunt it. So I'm going to back down to go do what I know. And the guy will go into the Football Hall of Fame as arguably the greatest college football coach ever. Stint in Miami, awful. And you see it all the time. You see it in college. You'll see it in the pros. Oh, man, they hire this guy. He's an up-and-coming coordinator, blah, 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 boom. Craps the bed. Then no one has the humility to go, yeah, you know what? I'm just going back to be an OC. Maybe that's money. Maybe it's pride, competitive, whatever you want to call it. But I'm sitting here going, fact of the matter is, you see it all the time. Some people are better coordinators than they are head coaches.
Yep, absolutely. And Josh McDaniels probably seems like he's one of those guys. Looking around the league for games, this is the best weekend, best Sunday of NFL games that we've had all season. You start with the Central Time, 8:30. It's over in Frankfurt, Germany, I believe. It's the Dolphins and Chiefs. So get your 8:30 game in to start the day. Then in that noon window, you have 2 playoff teams, Seahawks at the Ravens. And then, of course, 3:25 is Cowboys at the Eagles. And then the Sunday night game is a heck of a game. It's the Bills at the Bengals. So it is a phenomenal Sunday of NFL games. Just a great weekend of football. All day, you got college games. Then you got top-level college games on Saturday, spread out throughout the day. And then the same thing NFL. It's going to be a great weekend of football. Let's get to our next segment, questions of the week. Questions of the week, you send them to us, gridirongrindsports@gmail.com. You can DM us on Twitter, Instagram, comment on one of our videos, on our podcast, on Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. Get your questions. We'll pick our favorite one of the week for our NFL Cowboys podcast. And we got one this week, Jimmy. It is from Bobby from Anna, Texas, via Twitter.
Coyotes. All right.
Bobby's question: the Cowboys did not make any trades before the deadline again this year, while the 49ers and Eagles both added starters. What do y'all think about the Cowboys' strategy, which he's talking about continuing not to make trades at the trade deadline?
It's frustrating because it's not like we were blowing teams out and we just looked like, guys, we don't need nothing. And I also say the Giants won 2 Super Bowls with Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Under the premise of, I don't care, we're going to take the best pass rusher available.
Yeah.
And what happened? Those dudes could get to the quarterback. And when you can get to the quarterback, when that front four is good, those back 7 are amazing. And so that's what, you see LSU, Alabama, it's a lot of what they do. The Giants did it. Washington, how many guys have they given away? Trent Williams?
Yeah.
I don't care if we have Tyron Smith. You go get Trent Williams. Why? Because 2 games out of the year, he's going to give you the best game of his life. Excuse me. Same with Chase Young. They're not happy with Chase Young. Okay, come on over here. You know what? Well, our defensive line's set, Jimmy. Okay. You mean to tell me the backups are better than Chase Young? If so, then okay. I don't believe it. I know they're not better than Montez Sweat. Go get one of those guys. Washington's ready to clean house. Who knows what they're doing over there. I'm sitting here going, get these guys. San Francisco going to get Chase Young. I just thought, man, you're going to put him there with Bosa. I mean, it'd be like bringing Randy Gregory back. You just do it. Worst case scenario, he sets the bench. He doesn't do anything good. But if you get any production out of that guy, it's a win.
I mean,
I don't get it.
This is 2 years in a row. Our top competition in the NFC for the Cowboys, Eagles and 49ers, made huge moves at the trade deadline. Last year, the Eagles went and got A.J. Brown, and the 49ers went and got Christian McCaffrey. This year, the Eagles go get the starting safety. I believe, was he from the Titans? Bird.
Yes.
He's a Pro Bowl safety. And then the 49ers go get Chase Young. Now, I don't know if Washington would have made a deal with the Cowboys for Chase Young in division. I could see them not making a deal or asking way too much for it. But there was moves to be made out there. I mean, I would have saw with the Rams, what do y'all want for Aaron Donald? I mean, he's towards the end of his career. The Rams, I don't know how close they are to making it, I guess
they got theirs. They loaded up for that Super Bowl. Got it. Now they're done.
See what you could have got for Aaron Donald. I mean, there was moves to be made, and I just don't like the Cowboys standing pat when the teams we're going against are very aggressive and taking chances, and it's worked out for them. We haven't been able to beat these teams in the playoffs. We've lost to the 49ers 2 years in a row. I think you got to be aggressive, and you got to make moves. And what's crazy is Jerry Jones, he used to be that guy, and he kind of still is, but he's more reserved. They're just real structured now on how they do the roster. And it's been great as far as getting us to the playoffs and getting us in the hunt every year. Because in the last few years under Jason Garrett, we'd make the playoffs, we'd be terrible. Make the playoffs, we'd be terrible, or we'd go 8-8 every year. Well, now they've structured it through the draft and through off-season stuff. Hey, we're going to have a competitive roster and we're going to make the playoffs every year. Okay, that's great. But the goal is win the Super Bowl, and the teams that are doing that are being super aggressive at the trade deadline. And I just don't know if I agree with just hoping this team continues to get it done. Because even if you miss, you miss. You know, whatever. But like, look at the Texas Rangers. What do they said, you know what? We got a chance here. Let's go get Max Scherzer. Let's go get 2 starting pitchers, Scherzer and Montgomery. You know, let's go get Chapman. Let's go out of the bullpen. You got to be aggressive. And the Cowboys' lack of aggressiveness at the trade deadline 2 years in a row, when our top competition is the exact opposite, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
You know, and if you just plan to win your division, let's just say you go, here's our strategy. We're going to draft. We're going to acquire free agents. We're going to trade, whatever, to win the division. If you win the NFC East now, you're in pretty good shape. You're one of the best teams in the NFL. We're not even like doing anything to do like Hankins. We bring Hankins in to stop this tush push. But then we let was it Gallimore who we let?
Yeah.
We let Gallimore go. I'm going, okay. So we lost depth on the defensive line. And I get it. Salary cap. Believe me, I don't have to look at the salary cap numbers like Steven. I don't have to try to figure out a way to make it all work. What I know and what Jerry knows, and like you said, it seems he's very reserved. It's what old man Steinbrenner knew. It's what Ray Davis, majority owner of the Texas Rangers, knows. You spend the money, go ahead and write the check. Write the check. We'll worry about it on the back end. Because if we win, everything will take care of itself.
Exactly.
Everything will take care of itself.
You mentioned the Rams 2 years ago. The Rams made moves. Odell Beckham, they brought him in. They brought Jalen Ramsey.
Played golf for Stafford.
Yeah. I mean, they were just really aggressive. And it's someone who was super aggressive back in the day and most of his career, Jerry Jones. Just when this is the best chance we've had in 20 plus years of getting to the Super Bowl and just not being aggressive for the trade deadline when other teams are, and there was moves to be made to make this team better. I'm shocked. It kind of goes against what we knew of Jerry Jones and the whole organization, but to their credit, I guess they're confident in how they're doing it. I hope that confidence translates into some playoff wins because we've lost to the Niners 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So
Jerry may not be willing to go back to 8-8 or to go back to where we drafted Zeke.
Maybe
4-12. Jerry may not be willing to go back to that, and I get it. But then on the flip side, you talk about how bad you want to win a Super Bowl. Go do it. Look at the Rams. Rams loaded up, we just stomped them. They're not a very good football team now. But you know what? They were. They set out and did exactly what they accomplished. They said, you know what, guys? We're going to load up. We're going to put all in. You have all the chips in. We win. Great. We know that down the road, we're about to be terrible. But we're going to win. We're going to be able to hoist the trophy and everything will be fine.
Worth it for a Super Bowl and you figure it out later.
Yeah, exactly.
So
frustrating to answer you, Bobby.
Yeah, very frustrating. Don't like the strategy, but we'll see how it pays off. Thanks for the question, Bobby, from Anna, Texas, via the old Tweet X machine. All right, on to our best bets, final segment of the show, and we continue to be hot. Last week was not our best week. I was 2-2, Jimmy 1-4. Losing week, first losing week we've had NFL bets in a while. We've been pretty hot.
The unders turned around to be overs last week.
Yeah, that we didn't, but I'm going right back to the under train. I'm not ready to jump off that train yet. We're still on the season. I'm 16-10, Jimmy's 17-13. So we got 10 more wins than losses. Still looking good long term. I got 5 bets this week, Jimmy.
I got 5 too.
All right. Just like our college podcast yesterday, 5-5. All 5 of mine are unders. I'm staying on the under train one more week. I'm gonna see how it treats me. So I'll start 8:30 Central, Frankfurt, Germany game. It's the Dolphins at Chiefs. It's 51. I like the under, and here's why. You hear teams talk about going and playing these European. Well, most of it's London, but the surface is not good. It's not good quality. The guys don't have great footing. Also, the plane rides to get all the way over there, I can't imagine having to fly all the way to Frankfurt, Germany and play a football game. Everything you
It's
got
8 hours.
deal
I
with.
can tell you, I've flown to Frankfurt. It
You
is
have
8
flown,
hours.
so it's 8 hours.
It's 7 or 8 hours. Yeah.
It's everything's different over there. The turf, the surface is different. Your internal clock. I mean, playing a football game at 8:30 in the morning. Also, the Chiefs passing game, it's just been out of sync. I mean, they got Travis Kelce, who's having a good year, but who is their other receivers? Kadarius Toney can't catch. Sky Moore had 3 drops last week. The Chiefs are really struggling on offense. They've lost 2 in a row with the turf issues. 8:30 game going all the way to Frankfurt. You give me a total in the 50s. I think when way the NFL has gone under all season, I got to take the under. Give me Dolphins Chiefs under 51.
I like that one, man. I flipped a coin and didn't put it in mine, but I really wanted to. I'm going to actually had no unders. That was going to be the one under I took. So I'm going to start out Rams Packers. Packers -3. It's in Green Bay. I think that Green Bay is the better team, and I think the Packers get it done. It's going to be about 45, going to be in the mid 40s. That's cold for them boys from LA. And give me Jordan Love to get back online.
And Stafford's thumb. Hurt his thumb last week against the Cowboys. Playing in 40-degree weather, upper 30s. You know that ain't going to help that thumb feel any better.
And the first time he throws it, and somebody, he hits that hand, just going to shoot through it. So give me Packers -3.
I like that. My second game, Bears Saints under 41. Bears, I don't even know the quarterback's name. Some quarterback off the street. I think he was at a Division II school or something. And the Bears struggling on offense. How the heck are they supposed to score? And the Saints have been so inconsistent. Saints have one of the best defense in the league, even though they're not any good. I don't know how both teams to beat me, basically. Either one team's going to have to score 30 or both are going to have to get in the 20s. I don't see it happening. I don't think the Bears – we'll see if they even get to double digits. Saints got a good defense. I know it's a low total. Not even the lowest total I'm taking, but Bears Saints, I don't know how the Bears are going to score, and the Saints, they're not blowing anybody out. So I'll take Bears Saints under 41.
I like it. My next one, Bucks Texans. Texans burned me last week, so I'm going against them this week. Give me the Bucks +2.5. Baker Mayfield, not a fan.
No.
The guy's an NFL quarterback. The guy's pretty good. The guy's still got it. Not a lot of injuries there for the Buccaneers. Tunzel is questionable. That's a big left tackle. That's a big loss there for a rookie quarterback. Give me the Buccaneers on the road +2.5.
I agree with you there. I think the Buccaneers are the better team. And you're getting points.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, Giants Raiders under 37. Yeah, I know it's 37. The Giants struggle to score 14 every week. The Raiders just cleaned house, fired their coach, fired their GM, fired their OC, benched their quarterback. Just recipe for a low-scoring, ugly 10-7, 14-10 game. I don't see a lot of points in this one. Giants, they got the quarterback carousel going on as well with all the injuries they've had. Give me Giants Raiders under 37 in my hold your butt pick of the week. 37's not a lot, but these two offenses stink. Giants Raiders under 37.
I like it. It ain't a lot, but it's more than enough. I like it. Speaking of not a lot, but more than enough. Colts Panthers. Panthers beat the Texans last week in a barn burner 15-13 or some mess like that. So Colts offense has been clicking, and I think 2.5 points is more than enough. I think Colts -2.5. Colts go to Carolina, come away with a big win.
Yeah, they've been playing good football. Colts have under the radar. Next game, Cowboys Eagles under 46.5. I see this game. I see more chances this goes under than over. I can see this being a 24-21 type of game. That puts you right under. It could be 21-20. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Cowboys' strength is their defense. I just don't know offensively. The Cowboys, every time we face a good defense, which, was if the Cowboys don't get defensive or special teams touchdowns, they haven't gone over. That's basically how they get over. So Eagles, maybe the best team in the league. They don't turn the ball over a lot. Hurts has a few times this season. He did against the Jets, and that's how they lost that game. But if Eagles take care of the football, Cowboys have a really good defense. I see a better chance this going under than over. That's why I'm on the under. Cowboys, Eagles, under 46.5.
I like it. I got a play on that coming up at the end. My next one, Buffalo at Cincy. Buffalo getting points. Cincy beat the 49ers. 49ers are on a downward spiral. Brock Purdy is lost. He's hurt. He doesn't know what to do without Debo. Turns out you can double coverage Ayuk and stop McCaffrey. And somehow he forgot about George Kittle. So I think Cincy's riding a high. I think it's false. Buffalo getting points. I'll take it. Give me Buffalo plus 2.5 on the road at Cincy.
Nice. My last one, same game. Bills, Bengals. I'm going under 49.5. I think this is Josh Allen. He's turned the ball over a lot. The Bengals, like you said, they've been inconsistent. This is a big game, and usually big games equal unders, especially when it's almost 50. So they could score 7 touchdowns, 28-21, and we still win this game. And the way the NFL's gone, I mean, very seldom have games went over 50. So high total for the NFL. 2 pretty good teams contending for playoffs. Both of them have 3 losses. I think it's going to be a tight, competitive game. To me, that equals under. So I like Bills, Bengals, under 49.5.
I like it. My last pick, Cowboys on the road at the Eagles. Like you said, already taken the under. I agree with that. I think you're going to have the Eagles coming out trying to really prove something. Cowboys are going to come out trying to prove something. What happens when you're trying to do too much, Trey? Doesn't go as planned usually. You end up turning the ball over. You force stuff, incomplete passes. Give me Dallas plus 3 off the foot of Brandon Aubrey.
I like it. Cowboys 24-21. Be a winner for both of us.
I think Dallas plus 3. To me, I think we're riding the high off the Rams. I don't believe we think the Rams are Super Bowl contenders. We knew who they were. We finally came out and just donkey stomped the team that we should. And I think we carry a little of that over into Philly. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think we get it done. Like I said, I think Aubrey is going to be the player of the game.
He's been nailed. It really has.
Give me Dallas plus 3.
All right, here's our Gridiron Grind recap of our 10 bets, 5 apiece from us. Jimmy's 5. He's got Packers minus 3, Buccaneers plus 2.5, Colts minus 2.5, Bills plus 2.5, and the Cowboys plus 3. Myself, I have the Dolphins Chiefs under 51, Bears Saints under 41, Giants Raiders under 37, Cowboys Eagles under 46.5, Bills Bengals under 49.5. 10 best bets. Again, we're combined 33-23 on the season. Been hot as a show.
Been hot.
Unders have been great to us. I'm going to stick on that train. If I have a losing week this week, I might be off the under train. A trend.
I hear you.
Could be going, but I'm going
I didn't buy a ticket this week, Trey. Went 1-4 last week on them. I didn't buy a ticket on the under train this week. I'm going to take a different one.
I was 2-2 last week, so I'm still sticking with it.
I like it.
So there we go. That's our show. Cowboys, huge game at the Eagles, Sunday, 3:25. Be sure and join us for the live post-game show at the conclusion of that game, live on our YouTube channel right after immediately following the game. Be sure to check us out, gridironggrindsports.com. Our college football podcast for this week is up and loaded to Apple Podcasts and our YouTube channel. This podcast, also Apple Podcasts and our YouTube channel. Big weekend of football. Super excited. Still riding off that Texas Rangers World Series victory. riding that into
Still
the
doesn't feel
weekend.
real.
Golly, it kind of doesn't. Like, pinch me.
Still
I can't
don't feel
believe
real, man.
the Texas Rangers are World Series champs. So we're gonna ride that high into some momentum for our bets over the weekend. So be sure and check that out. Jimmy, buddy, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you on Sunday.
You too, homie. Have a good weekend. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.